On the 29th of August 2005, Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast of Louisiana and Mississippi. More than 1.5 million people were displaced as Katrina pummeled the coastline with torrential rains, sustained winds of 125 miles per hour, and a 35-foot storm surge. Yet, while the major media focused on the storm damage in New Orleans, the Gulf Coast of Mississippi was also totally devastated. In fact, Hurricane Katrina damaged or destroyed practically every structure along the Mississippi shoreline from the Louisiana border all the way to Biloxi and beyond, and also several miles inland. With the overall cost of damages estimated at $75 billion, Katrina has earned the distinction of being the costliest natural disaster in American history. So now, in the aftermath of this major storm, what's being done to help the people of southern Mississippi? FEMA and other government agencies are on site, but the destruction is so massive that even this response has proven to be inadequate to meet all the needs. Many of these displaced people have nowhere to turn for help. Some are elderly people on fixed incomes. Others are mired in endless red tape or locked in long-term battles with insurance companies. There are disabled and impoverished people who've been wiped out by the hurricane and simply have nowhere to go. A number of these people used to work in local businesses that have been utterly destroyed, businesses that in many cases will never reopen. So even though several months have elapsed since the storm, many individuals and families along the Mississippi Gulf Coast are far from being back on their feet. All over this region, people are out of work, out of options, and out of hope. One of the private sector groups working to make a difference for the victims of Katrina is called the Charm Foundation. Based in Southern California, the Charm Foundation is a not-for-profit volunteer organization that has been actively involved in rebuilding homes and restoring hope for people who have lost everything.
This house is pretty typical of the houses that Charm is built in. This one's being built for Mrs. Shields. The inside, which again is very typical of many of the houses that we're building, runs about 900 square feet. Very nice living room area, 2-bedroom, bathroom, kitchen. Charm is helping with not only the building or refurbishing of the house, but the carpeting, the drywall, the major appliances. Within a week, this house will be done, and Mrs. Shields will be able to move right back in and get on with her life and end the 6 or 7 months of transition that she's been in. And we're really excited to have her back in the house.
Our thanks to you guys and the people in the Charm Foundation is probably more than anything I can ever put into words. Myself and my wife are more grateful than you guys will probably ever know. We couldn't put into words or in a letter, trying to thank you guys enough for what you've done. And we see the work that you guys are doing with other people in the community, and just we've got nothing but high marks for you guys.
And what was unique about Charm was it was a quick problem solver. There was no bureaucracy.
We both agreed that this house doesn't need to be repaired, it needs to be replaced. And the Charm Foundation at that point pledged $20,000 toward the rebuilding of that house, and said that he was going to see what else we could do to help this old lady out. She's a widow. Her husband was a military man, and I think she's living off of $400 and less than $500 a month is her total gross income for she and her daughter.
So what is the Charm Foundation? To find out more, we talked with Mark Friedman, a volunteer board member and spokesman for the organization.
The Charm Foundation is a very unique organization. It was founded in 1998 by Glenn and April McCusker. It's an all-volunteer organization which has very low administrative costs and very low overhead, which allows us to give over 90% of all proceeds donated to whichever project that we are working on. Over the past 8 years, we've provided financial support and volunteer aid for projects such as orphanages, learning centers, youth centers, shelters for women and children, soup kitchens. We have also adopted hundreds and hundreds of families during the holiday seasons. And in the past 8 years, we've raised millions of dollars for these causes. But our biggest project to date is the project in the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
While there are currently a number of organizations helping out in the Gulf Coast area, there are three main characteristics that distinguish the Charm Foundation from other charitable organizations. All charitable organizations carry overhead expenses that come right off the top of donations that people make. Precious resources are typically consumed by salaries for managers and staff, office expenses, travel, and other expenses. In contrast to this, almost all of the Charm Foundation's operating expenses are paid directly by the founder of the organization. As a result, a minimum of 90% of all donations go directly into projects that help people in need. Secondly, most charitable organizations hire the labor necessary to rebuild or refurbish a home. We recruit and coordinate all volunteer labor for our projects, allowing us to stretch our resources and help more people. And lastly, we don't blindly throw money at a problem. We work closely with project managers on the ground in Mississippi to assure that resources are being used wisely and appropriately, and that the most deserving people are being helped.
A successful relief organization puts people on the ground, and they call for resources from up above, and they're supported from up above. And it's a key to a successful relief effort. And in looking at the Charm Foundation, that's how it's run. Put people on the ground, understand the problems, continually reassess the problems, and facilitate to it.
For the past several months, the Charm Foundation has been hard at work helping Katrina victims. But there are a lot more people who need our help. And to be able to assist them, we need you to get involved. Of course, we need cash donations in any amount to continue purchasing building materials. But we also need volunteers to help us refurbish or rebuild homes on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. If you could come work with us for a few days, a week, or more, please contact us for details. Help us bring hope to people who desperately need it. For more information on the Charm Foundation and how you can make a donation or get involved, please call 949-713-3949 or visit www.charmfoundation.org.